This gang stalker or handler is on the phone using loudspeaker. Of the amount of gang stalkers and handlers I'm seeing in my neighborhood is consistent of the amount of houses sold in my neighborhood, close to 700 houses in just a few years. The cars and faces you're seeing in my video I've never seen before. I've lived here for 20 years. Gang stalkers are patrolling the streets 24/7. Keep on watching to understand what I go through on a daily basis and the tactics they use. Sensitization is a psychological term referring to the forced association between a repetitive stimuli and a corresponding reaction. Sensitization is, basically, a psychological tool by which a person can be trained to react more to a stimulus. In addition, sensitization often is characterized by an enhancement of response to a whole class of stimuli in addition to the one that is repeated. A lot of houses have been sold in neighborhoods surrounding mine. If I were to drive through a specific neighborhood, the gang stalking will continue there with the hierarchical structure that has developed there. Gang stalkers and handlers having their lights on during the day, they're letting the victim know he's being stalked. It's a tactic they use to sensitize you. This tactic is used on all targeted individuals worldwide. As an example of sensitization, take a look at these three gray cars right next to each other.
Sensitization using neuro-linguistic programming. Sensitization is when the targeted individual finally figures out that he's being gang stalked. And at some point, they will make that very clear. And they intentionally do so that once you're sensitized, then each little thing, makes you kind of, oops, I'm under harassment and attack.
As you can see, this gang stalker, he's waiting for me to get close to his vehicle, then he will move forward and park to let me know I'm being stalked. There's more than one stalker at this location. All sorts of motorbikes are used heavily in this program. Gang stalker or handler on his phone. gang stalker invading your personal space. It's a tactic they use on all gang stalking victims. The stalker is communicating to me, telling me you must have Italian blood to be getting a coffee. It's scripted. He was told by his handler to invade my space and say them words: I am Italian, I got Italian parents, I was born in Australia. There's a handler.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I'm off to wash my car. They know I'm heading there. They have got a stalker waiting there. When I was at home speaking to my mother about going to wash my car, the phone alerting me, telling me recording has started. I got software on my phone that lets me know when they're recording conversations between me and my mother.
Account of all these, of my targeting since 1994. I was blacklisted.
Yeah, perhaps we can start right there. Did you want to talk a little bit about those early experiences in medical school?
I want to talk about medical school, and I will start there. But I think before I start, I just want to tell people what I have discovered through a very long process of being targeted since 1994. And what I have discovered about the system, whilst I've fought it all this time and still fighting it for justice, what I have discovered is that the medical school was actually controlled by New World Order agents. Now, some of them were high-degree Freemasons, others were part of the Illuminati satanic cult, also known as the Otto, which is registered in Australia as a satanic cult. It appears that these groups have actually infiltrated all areas of society, of the system in Australia. Medicine, the law, the media, the government, the intelligence agencies. It appears that this network actually is the deep state. When I say that, obviously other elements to the deep state exist as well, but these people actually control. They're on the highest echelons of power, controlling the deep state. So we've got a network that is actually controlling all aspects of society in Australia. So, what they do and how they behave, is not my thing to say. Except to say there's a lot of literature out there describing a lot of these behaviours and actions from these secret societies. So I think medicine, like the rest of the system, in particular the law and the judges, were actually controlled by a network of these people. The sub-dean of medicine was a high-degree Freemason, allegedly Satanist, and allegedly part of a VIP pedophile. Now, I don't want to mention his name, but this particular person was actually the New World Order watchdog at the university, at Monash University in Victoria, Melbourne, medical school. So it appears that his role was to sift out, you know, certain people from the system that were not going to be loyal robots of the New World Order.
Mm-hmm. And you ran up against this as a student. Now, you know, everything that you have said right now is probably sort of ringing bells for various people watching, because at this point in time, everybody knows about this sort of insertion or interference at the very highest levels in our society by these occultists and Satanists and Freemasons and Illuminati.
That's right. I don't want to go into
power.
That's right. I don't want to go into that too much, but except to say that I became aware that this is the structure of the Australian system at the moment. And one of the reasons where I have been blocked from obtaining my human rights to the Law and Justice as well is because this powerful network is as powerful as it is. And another reason is that the mainstream media, instead of reporting truth about my case, actually reported the lies and aided in the process of persecuting me further and humiliating me and just reporting lies on the case, on the court case, despite the fact that I had given them the correct information beforehand. So that goes to say that they had criminally conspired as well with the rest of them to actually persecute, destroy, humiliate, destroy my identity, my human rights to earn a living, my human rights to the Law and Justice, and my human rights to actually live a normal life.
Yes.
So they wanted to actually annihilate.
Go to my YouTube channel to watch the full length of Helen Tsigauna's incredible story.
I don't want to think about it. I want you to love me now. It's alright. I was celebrating moment tonight. I don't know who's gonna kiss you and what. It's all I have. I know it'll kill me when it's over. I don't wanna think about it. I want you to love me now. I don't know who's gonna kiss you when I'm gone. So I love you now. Like it's all I have. I know it'll kill me when it's over. I don't wanna think about it. I just wanna love you now. Hey, what's up? This is Roger. Fresh hits on Nova. The way you do the things you do reminds me of my next school. That's why I'm all up in your grill. I'm trying to get you to a hotel. You must be a football coach. The way you got me playing the field. Give me that. Let me give you that.
As I said, a stalker already waiting for me. He's on his phone.
quote unquote gang stalking. As you say, this is very huge, and as I research it, it appears to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and have deeper and deeper roots, going back through history. In the in a number of fields, a lot of things are converging, and of course, I believe this is a worldwide program. It is a New World Order program to, shall we say, dispose of those who have not been ideologically assimilated into the New World Order. Those who might, not want to jump on board this train that we're all supposed to be enthusiastic about. And yeah, we talked last time about the what I was identifying then as some major characteristics of gang stalking, which at that point I was realizing was actually a part of what the military calls fourth generation warfare or irregular warfare, carried out by U.S. Special Operations Command. And so there's an enormous budget, and then almost unlimited. In fact, our Pentagon right now is missing $6.5 trillion. They just don't know where it is in the United States, and that's after they were losing $2.6 trillion on the day before 9/11. So what we have is a renegade system in which the governments of the world appear no longer to be representing the people of those countries, but rather the ruling elites that control those governments.
This was the recommendation of one of the guys who did a nice YouTube on this. And he's saying, yeah, this is coming from Department of Homeland Security grants to your local county and your local police force, and to at least a large extent. And yes, they are using the local first responders, and yes, they are getting money for it. So you could say one is the hard path. That's the bomb the hell out of them approach, is the 911. And then the soft, quote unquote, soft approach, the economic approach, is the global warming and the phony environmental movement of the UN. But then coming through behind the scenes in both of them, we now see this global gang stalking program. We can call it counterintelligence stalking. We can call it cause stalking, community-based stalking, vigilante stalking, organized gang stalking. Gang stalking is a little bit of a misnomer because we're not talking about street gangs here.
Right.
We're talking about very, very coordinated groups, often coordinated from local police, often from Homeland Security, private contractors. There is a network of individuals who are perpetrators, who can be called on. And I think these people are a lot of them are bottom feeders, maybe very poor. And maybe there's a little money involved in it for them, and maybe they get 15, 20, 40 calls a day from their superior who says, okay, there's going to be a blue van coming down the road and it's going to have these license plates. I want you to cut them off or whatever, So they're responding to one call for this TI and then another call for that TI. And this then becomes their livelihood. These perpetrators are brown noses. And then, of course, there are the people that are coordinating this. And the very, very, very top, according to Forwood on his excellent little book here, called Gang Stalking and Mind Control. At the very top, we have the Illuminati bloodline Satanist families who are kind of behind the whole thing to give us a self-policing fascist totalitarian state.
More sensitization. That car you see there, a gang stalker passing the baton. That white car you see there specifically waited for me to open my door, so when I look that way I can see the stalker starting to drive off to head my direction. These business owners have been recruited and workers. The stalker is on his way, having his arm out the window. He's letting me know I'm being watched and stalked. More stalkers will arrive. A stalker leaving. Visit my YouTube channel and take a look at a video I made petrol station mopping gang stalking, and you will understand what you're saying here. Link to that video down in the description. Another stalker has arrived. A stalker leaving. That white car is a handler. Another stalker has arrived on phone speaker.
On the right foot, it targets quality leather school shoes for just $35. Our school shoes come with removable inner soles for an adjustable fit, so there's room for growing feet. And there are 4 styles to choose from. Hop back to school with everything you need from Target.
Didn't get the 8R you wanted? It's not the end of the world. If you love kids, you could study a childcare course at VFA Learning. With smaller class sizes and hands-on learning, you'll graduate job ready.
Recharge will triple 5 gigs into 15 gigs, just like magic. And of course, you can data bank
Stalker leaving.
When you recharge $30 or more before expiry. Triple your data when you recharge with Telstra Prepaid Extra. New customers only. Data
Check out my brand new single, I Do, on
A lot of houses have been sold in this neighborhood. 2 or 3 handlers will buy a house in a certain street and start to recruit houses on that street. The same thing happens on the next street, the street after that, and the process continues. That's what they done to my neighborhood. A handler in front of me. There's another stalker touching his chin, letting me know I'm being watched and followed wherever I go.
Available after 10:30 a.m. for a limited time.
Handler turning off, passing the baton. A stalker at the bus stop you see there with his back facing me and his hands behind his back, just letting me know you can also see his handler driving past him. There's another stalker on his phone. Another stalker letting me know. Stalker on the phone passing the baton.